Hello! And welcome to Explore Home Repeat. My name's Matt.
And I'm Izzy.
And today we are at Amberley Museum in Sussex. This is sort of an industrial living museum with a lot of trains, buses, recreated buildings from all over Sussex, all built into an old chalk pit where they used to have lime kilns and things like that. So I don't really know what to expect here. It's really, I guess, a living museum, a bit like the Black Country Museum.
Yeah, I mean, I would like a living museum. Because we've visited the Black Country Museum, we'll put that link to that video down below so you can watch that.
As always, we're here to see what it's like, if you should go, and if it's worth the ticket price. Right, you ready to explore?
Let's go! So we're going to go on a bus in a minute.
Yeah.
They think this is Sienna's first open top bus.
Absolutely, got to hold on to her tight. I think it does a loop, kind of round a large bit of the whole museum. It's a bit bumpy.
So we're on the move.
Have to be a bit careful of the branches. It's all right. Come to that. So here we are at Amberley Fire Station, a great big building with some very, very impressive fire engines. So this one looks like a sort of a military World War II one, I guess. So this is an old Borough of Hove fire engine. So this is where I'm from originally, Hove, and this would have been the fire engine that would have come to my house back in the day. This is very much like the Black Country Museum that we've been to before. It's old buildings that have been moved from other parts of sort of Brighton, Hove, Sussex area and brought here, completely rebuilt and reconstructed to make a whole sort of little miniature towns. If you are a fan of old buses, they have got a really good selection here. They're all tucked into this bus depot building. I remember Hannington's department store in Brighton, that was there for years. There's just so much here. This old wheelwright, so makers of coaches and carts. There's just little buildings scattered everywhere to look at. Here you can build an entire wooden wheel. It's all numbered. A big jigsaw puzzle. We've had some success. We have got a full wheel. Sienna helped out a little bit as well. Oh. Well done, Sienna. Oh,
shoddy work.
All right, next we are going to go on the train so that every half an hour, not during lunchtime, as you can see, no trains between 1 and 1:30. Last train at 4 o'clock. So we're going to go on. We just got given our tickets. Again, it's a free ride. You don't have to pay to get on it, but they still give you a little sort of souvenir ticket. So we are off.
We're off on an adventure. We love a train ride.
So the train goes from sort of one end of the museum to the other, so you can use it to kind of get around.
Yeah, exactly. So
this building sticks out a bit here. It's Connected Earth, how communication shapes the world. And this was founded by BT. So this whole museum is all about the kind of history of communication. So you've got about cables under the sea. Here you've got about telephones, from the very old ones up to fairly modern mobile phones. Oh, something's ringing. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, I can just about hear you. It's very quiet. So that was my dad phoning me from across the room. So again, there's little bits for kids to do. You can pick up, make a phone call, things like that. This bit of the museum is definitely kind of a bit more established, a bit more like a modern museum. There's a bit more going on. Various bits about how they tested cables here. All of this kind of went on behind the scenes. I guess most people never even saw this, how BT and various companies actually created the communication networks. Next, we're going to go into the Milne Collection, which appears to be all about technology and things, but it's kind of hard to tell from the outside. There's a right selection of things in the window. Well, this is cool. A whole thing about electricity. So it appears to be a massive generator in the middle, and then all stuff to do with the production of electricity through the ages. here in the centre of this whole electricity bit, they've got this demonstration area, and they've got Tesla coils and Jacob's ladders, and every so often they do demonstrations, so high voltage stuff with kind of lightning shooting everywhere. Not one until 2 o'clock, which is a bit of a wait for us, but if you're here, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see that when they create that massive electrical current. Brilliant.
This area is really good for kids. If you press the button, it tells you about static electricity. So this ball spins against this cloth and makes static electricity. Loads of buttons to press in here, all sorts of things. Electricity made by chemistry. So it's lowering down, and you can see it's actually making the voltage just through chemistry. And then this one's made by magnets, so this is essentially like a little electrical generator. It just keeps coming thick and fast at this end of the museum. Now we're into the Railway Exhibition Hall. So this is just a huge warehouse just full of wagons. They've got some famous ones, one that was in a James Bond film, one that carried some precious works of art. We've got to see if we can find them. We found one of the wagons. So this was used during World War II for the government to move the country's most precious paintings from the London galleries to a quarry in North Wales where they were all kept safe. And this was one of the carriages that did it. So as you can hear probably from the music in the background, we're going to try and avoid a copyright strike on this video, but there is a Hudson 1 cubic yard skip here that was used in the James Bond film View to a Kill with Roger Moore and Tanya Roberts rode in it.
Famous.
Yeah, and I think that was some of that was filmed here at Amberley. And here's a little engine from the Bond film as well, because you can see it's still got the Zorin Industries written on the side of it. So they've got a whole pottery shop here, and they've got loads of mugs and little vases and things, but it's really nice stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's some really nice stuff, and you can get your own like clay starter kit, and because we're in Easter time, you can get like little things you can paint for Easter.
This area is Wood Lane, and it's got all of the kind of crafts that involved wood. Oh, come on, what more could you want? A walking stick shop.
There are actually some really beautiful walking sticks.
Oh, it's like any of these things. Once you get a really good craftsman, make anything. They can make it beautiful, walking stick or not. This bit's cool. It almost looks like an old medieval village where they're doing all kinds of wood turning and things like that. They have then got more industrial old machines over here. I think this is for splitting wood and things. So that was really good. When they actually have people to talk to, the experts, the volunteers, it really brings it to life.
Yeah, there was a lady and she said she was making flowers. So she was at her like lathe and she was just scraping back the wood and just making like petals as such. And then she let me smell it, like the smell of fresh wood, and yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's just a shame they haven't got more of that at the minute. I mean, I know it's not their fault, but you know, if they haven't got the volunteers, they haven't got the volunteers. So that's our day over here at Amberley Museum. What did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We actually stayed here a lot longer than I thought.
Don't go expecting some great big living museum like the Black Country Museum. This place is smaller. It's done on a smaller budget, but there is still plenty to see and do here, and for kids as well. I think they're trying, you know, things like the train ride, the bus ride, some of those museum bits with all the buttons to press. That was good fun.
And in the print shop as well, I think we saw some like older kids do a bit of printing and then come back to collect their prints later on.
Yeah, I do think you've got to kind of make the most of it here. It's quite spread out, so make sure you use the train and the buses. They don't cost anything. It's pretty good value. I think they could make more of it. It's certainly not up to the standards of other living museums we've been to, but for a little kind of afternoon, morning out, something like that, I think it's not a bad place to go if you're nearby. Right, we're going to go home now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye!